GoAnimate. The Rick Controversy. Part 2. August 2024. On the 31st of August 2024, Rick would finally reveal that he was also behind the Drew account, confirm the allegations to be true. Late 2024. Sometime later in the year, Rick would create a commentary channel known as Relangi. It went on to reach 1,000 subscribers. March 2025. On the 12th of March 2025, Rick would create a channel under the name Riptide Animations. He'd upload a video titled "My Life Fell Apart and Here's the Truth," in which he explained that since the incident, he had been assaulted and isolated by his friends almost daily at school. However, this was highly implausible, as was related to bullying, and his friends should have been expelled. Furthermore, in defense of Technoglitch, he claimed that he was innocent because the age of consent is 17. However, this is also a false claim, as the age of consent varies depending on where you live. It has also been stated many times before that it's strictly prohibited to post inappropriate content involving minors. Then, on the 14th of March, he posted a video titled "Making Things Right After Losing Everything" to persuade his OC friends who have received intense backlash. Unfortunately, his characters were in the public domain and no longer his own. Still, no one has been able to forgive him or forget the terrible things he inflicted on the community. He would then remove his channel hours later, possibly due to the criticism he was receiving by viewers. May 2025. On the 1st of May 2025, Rick returned under the new name Zycrox. He posted a video titled "Let's Talk." In the video, Rick commented on the re-upload of an old video, knowing he would likely not be forgiven. The re-uploader, Catalyst Dum Dum, responded by saying he hoped he had learned his lesson. The same was true for creating a sock puppet and causing a stir. However, Rick, in this case Zycrox, countered that every time he attempted to return, at different times from early May to late June 2024, he would face harassment from the community. He then planned a complete redemption story and wanted to start over. Surprisingly, people began to forgive Rick in the comments section, and even acknowledged that they had been too harsh on him. As time went on, Rick slowly but surely regained his audience, and his subscriber count rose to over 200. It seemed like he had finally redeemed himself, and was being warmly welcomed into the community. Unfortunately, this was not to last. June/July 2025. Enter Breather Polar, a YouTuber whose content consists of main documentaries centered on controversial figures. He would soon come across an account called Relangy. It turns out that before Rick created the Zycrox account, he had another account, Relangy, which boasted over 1,000 subscribers at the time. It was a commentary channel where he also produced videos and made documentaries. However, in one video, he accused others of stealing his ideas. Breather made a video calling out Rick for making such a stupid video and for not doing any research on it. However, after learning more about Rick's actions, including the Sakura 07 and GoAnimates Guide 2003 sock puppet controversy, death threats, and offending pedophiles, he made a follow-up video exposing them all. However, Breather's bringing up Rick's past actions and claiming that he hadn't truly changed as a person caused a huge backlash, with people criticizing Breather. Remember when I said the Zycrox account wouldn't last? Here's why. On the 29th of June 2025, Breather Polar uploaded a video titled "Relangy is trying to run from the situation." Breather went on to say that he found another channel belonging to Rick, Zycrox. Specifically, Rick was speaking in a video exposing the predatory behavior of a GoAnimator called Blossom-Flowsoft. The voice sounded like that of the Relangy account, allowing Breather to connect the two. Rick posted another video a week later after his return, accusing the female wizard of mistreating him in an internet incident. Rick was 17 years old, a minor at the time, and didn't know any better. He went on to claim that Fluno was a much worse person than he was, a claim that Breather Polar quickly denied. Breather Polar subsequently stated that even though the Fluno wizard was certainly more malicious than Rick, that does not justify the horrific actions Rick had taken several months earlier. Meanwhile, Rick, upon learning that Breather had shut down his channel, announced in a community post that he would be deleting it within 10 hours. At the end of the video, Breather told Rick that he should stay off the internet for his own sake, not to be punished for the rest of his life, but that he should no longer endure the pain he had endured at the hands of others. At approximately 10 AM Greenwich Mean Time, on the 30th of June 2025, Rick closed his Zycrox account. He also had an account called Redanger, so essentially an alt account of the Redanger account, but it will be removed around the 31st of July 2025. A week after Rick removed himself from YouTube, Breather Polar decided to speak with him privately in Discord chat. Breather initially responded politely, but Rick responded aggressively, saying that the allegations that he invented pedophiles and was a racist were false. Breather replied that he had all the evidence he needed and had no intention of running away. After sending Rick screenshots of his old channel, GoAnimates 2K5, Rick was shocked. Breather demanded a straightforward answer. Rick finally admitted to everything he'd done, but had to excuse it by saying it was a year ago and that Breather should forget. However, even if it was a year ago, you can never forget. Breather premiered a second video about Rick, the one you know, titled "The Danger Situation is Even Worse Than I Thought." Viewers were completely baffled by his actions. Around the 30th of June, a few hours after Rick deleted his channel, Breather messaged Rick, who, as always, told him to think about the matter. Breather Polar then made it clear that Rick would never be a victim, and that his own actions had hurt real people. Rick confessed that he was struggling emotionally, which Breather understood, but it didn't excuse his crimes. On the 2nd of July, Breather finally asked Rick why he had forgiven a user he had so despised. Rick replied that he didn't want to make amends or be seen as immature. Either way, forgiving a sexual predator made Rick immature. Rick ended the conversation and threatened Brever with punishment if he didn't end the dispute. August 2025. It seemed like Rick had finally learned his lesson, but it didn't last long. On the 19th of August 2025, he returned to a new channel called Zycrox Reborn and uploaded a video titled Breather Polar, This Ends Now. In the video, he claimed that when he returned in May, people were already aware of his past. He said the police had been called because of the video. He claimed that Breather Polar was accusing him of something that had already been dealt with before. Returning to the incident in which he plagiarized Lieutenant Rich's content, he argued that people always borrow other people's ideas, and that wasn't fair to shut him down from that reason, and that was part of content creation. He stated that there are far worse, more murderous people in the world than he is. When he defended Techno in April 2024, he claimed that this did not automatically make him a paedophile. The events of the past 3 months had also kept him up at night. He was worried about being questioned by the police. In a final message to Breather Polar, he said he didn't care if he criticized him, and firmly stated he would return to making videos on the platform. On the 29th of August 2025, Breather Polar uploaded a video in response to Rick titled OMG Zycrox/Relangy, Please Just Stop. In the video, Breather denied everything Rick said. 1. It was clear that Rick was trying to manipulate viewers into forgiving his actions. 2. He blamed worse people, not his own actions. This is typical of narcissists. 3. He only changed his stance after being accused of defending techno glitch. 4. It was hypocritical for him to accuse other people of stealing his ideas on his account, while simultaneously stating that they were mutually infused. 5. He used a sexual abuse victim to justify the existence of people who are far worse than him. 6. While he was right to legally claim he wasn't a paedophile by the techno glitch, he was still a paedophile in a moral sense. 7. He's never regretted being a racist. He only regrets it because he got caught. 8. He's still a bad person, no matter how long ago it was. 9. It's not his fault that he enjoyed law enforcement. Hours after the reporter uploaded his response video, Rick removed the video from his channel. Though there isn't a definitive reason, people speculate that it was because of the criticism he received in the comments. However, since the deletion of the video, Rick's channel had slowly started to gain more subscribers. He hadn't uploaded a video since. September 2025. Just when it seemed as though Rick's actions were finally bringing relief to the internet, the silence was short-lived. On the 22nd of September 2025, after deleting his previous video, he posted a new video titled "So Austin can find a pedo and walk free, but I defend one. I have to close my channel." In the video, he complained that Austin vs. Superior 2021, who controversially defended Break Adam, who had been accused of child pornography, was able to keep his channel. However, when he defended Techno Glitch in 2024, he was forced to delete his channel. He then declared that he didn't care what others thought of him, even if they didn't forgive him, and that he would continue making videos no matter what. He also revealed that he had launched a new commentary channel called NFG Myth. Breather Polar, who recently learned of Rick's comeback, announced that he would no longer make videos about him and would not respond to his latest videos. What Rick doesn't realize about Austin is that the only reason Austin is still active is because he stood up to the detractors and refused to have his channel taken down. No one has forgiven him, and Austin's abuse of the copyright system is making it hard for him to learn his lesson. He will remove any videos featuring himself or Adam. The next day, accusations began to fly that Breather Polar was Rick in disguise. Master1_YT chatted with Breather on a private Discord server to gather evidence to investigate whether the claims were true. Breather Polar felt uneasy and refused to reveal his real voice. Mask continued to pressure Breather Polar to reveal his real voice, but Breather Polar refused to give up. A few hours later, he posted a response to the allegations, explaining that he didn't feel comfortable using his real voice and that he might refrain from posting until the dust had settled. Breather Polar later explained in a community post that he didn't want to reveal his voice because he had been ridiculed and bullied for it in the past and would traumatized if he revealed it. October 2025. Okay, we're now going to recap events that occurred roughly 1 month ago. After a month and a half of no uploads to his Acroxy Born account, Rick finally rejoined the GoAnimates community, this time under the new name GoAnimates. On the 4th of October 2025, he uploaded a video titled GoAnimates Opinions That Are Probably Going to Get Me Cancelled, in which again he expressed high controversial opinions about the community. He first stated that content theft happens anyway, and that those who complain about it just go ahead and not cause a fuss, which is almost identical to what he said in his previous video about being bipolar. Next, he described a scenario in which people are accused of exploiting their mental health and behavioral influence, stating that he was truly telling the truth, and that he should have been educational why interrogators' actions were immoral, and that he should not have been banned from the internet. Finally, he complained that cancel culture has gone too far, because every time he tries to rejoin, he's immediately cancelled. He acknowledged his failures, but said that he doesn't deserve harassment for it. And he remains adamant that he has no intention of shutting down or deleting the channel. The next day, the 5th of October, a user named Anony Guy posted a video criticizing Rick. First, he argued that just because plagiarism is common doesn't mean Rick should really copy interrogators' videos. Rick had even previously admitted to plagiarism on the Drew account. Finally, he said that if the community hates Rick, unfortunately, they can't just ignore him. The internet is an unfortunate place, and ultimately urged Rick to seek help, despite the claims that he done so in the past. However, less than 20 hours later, Rick responded to Anony Guy's video, declaring everything he said false. He further stated, 1. That even if Anony Guy didn't care about what he said, he had every right to defend himself. 2. He accused Anony Guy of trying to start trouble for him. 3. He called Anony Guy hypocritical because Rick was accused of copy chatbot glitch, while those who copied his video on Coca somehow got away with it. 4. He clarified that cancel culture has become a joke, and that people are being cancelled for reasons that are neither threatening nor illegal. 5. He claimed that he tried to get help for over 2 years, but his therapist didn't do anything. He refused to delete his channel. That's what people said. Anony Guy again responding to Rick with a video titled Zycrox/Relangy/Soros-Animates is trying to come after me. Guilty. He argued the following. 1. He has the right to self-defense. 2. He wasn't trying to get Rick involved in the turmoil. It was Rick's choice to get involved in the turmoil in the first place. 3. He somewhat agrees with Rick that the community lacks common sense, regardless of whether users respond. 4. If you want to avoid being accused of plagiarism, you have no choice but to demonstrate originality in your videos. 5. He asserted that cancel culture is no joke and is 100% justified in certain circumstances. 6. He believed that Rick wasn't listening to his therapist's advice, such as staying off the internet and taking daily notes to record mental state if there were signs of improvement, which is why the therapist refused to help him. On the 6th of October, Rick posted a video titled "Regret," in which he lamented at length about how his actions had affected people and the change he has brought to the community. Rick claimed he sincerely wanted to change as a person, but it was to no avail, as some people in the comments section denied him the opportunity. The day after, the 7th of October, Rick responded to one of the guy's video again, debunking his claims. One. The more annoying guy mentioned him in the titles of his videos, the more heated the argument between them became. 2. Everyone stole his video ideas, but another guy didn't mention it. 3. Rick made it clear that he had no right to harass people. 4. Not all the claims were true and ruined his career. 5. Rick had sought therapy, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't find a solution and continued to create content no matter what. 6. When his therapist refused to help, Rick himself refused to cooperate. "11 hours later, Noni Guy posted another video in response to Rick. 1. The only way this will end is if Rick starts responding to him. If he hadn't responded in the first place, this wouldn't have happened. 2. He has been original in content creation since the Coca video. 3. Just because other creators get cancelled doesn't mean it's a joke. 4. People are treated badly when their malicious behaviour is publicly exposed. 5. He's not taking his therapist's advice seriously. 6. Rick has completely left the community and is constantly trying to start over, so he's not out of the loop. Despite Polo's explicit statement that he would no longer be making videos about Rick, who had returned even more viciously than before, he recognized the need to address this issue. On the 10th of October, he posted a video titled Lady/Source/Animate is lying to you, detailing the incident and providing his own opinion and an explanation of the situation. In the early hours of the 14th of October, Rick posted a rebuttal video to Brie Polar, claiming that they had investigated or detailed the conflict with another guy, and furthermore began to deny some of the things said by him, including that he was using his mental health issues as an excuse. On the 17th of October, Brie Polar posted a video rebuting Rick, explaining that viewers were already aware of the controversy, and that there was no need to reiterate what Rick said in each video. Furthermore, they featured several points, including that the videos had omitted important facts. Just 30 minutes after Brie Polar posted his rebuttal, Rick responded again, but this time he uploaded the video to the NFG Myth channel in an attempt to take down Breather. He essentially claimed that Brie Polar was untrustworthy due to lack of research in his videos, citing, for example, the Robert Solicit case that occurred a few months prior, as well as the infamous Guango case in which Roblox YouTuber Paulo was arrested and charged with pedophilia. At the time of writing, the video had received most negativity, with comments criticizing Rick. Three days later, on 20th of October 2025, Brie Polar released a video titled My Side of All the Paulo/Guango Drama, in which not only refuted Rick's video, but also denied all the claims against him, including any pedophilic affiliations. To save face, he was forced to cut ties with King of the Fishies, who subsequently harshly criticized Breather and the paedophile in question, Toothless. Meanwhile, Rick uploaded another video announcing that he would be taking a year off from content creation. He also admitted that he was not behind the Brie Polar account, finally putting an end to the allegations. Brie Polar himself also responded to the video, claiming that Rick was being very manipulative and that a year off wasn't enough. And normally, this is where the video would have ended. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We've now finally reached the present time, November 2025. And just to be more specific, this began about a week ago. Despite saying that he would take a break from the internet for a year, on the 21st of November 2025, Rick uploaded a new video to the Empty Myth channel, again accusing Polar of being something he never was. This time, however, he accused him of being a paedophile supporter due to Polar's previous alliance with a user named King of the Fishies, who is known for defending Toothless, who was accused of paedophilia. Rick also claimed that, unlike Polar, he had long since recused himself from the Telegraph incident. I briefly mentioned Austin vs. Peer 2021's defense of Brainiac Adam. Meanwhile, Polar himself would make a response, denying everything Rick said and claiming that he, not Rick, was the victim. However, a few hours later, YouTube removed the video for copyright reasons. It is unclear whether Rick himself or YouTube reported the video. Shortly after, Polar released a statement claiming that they didn't care if Rick actually died, while Rick, upon learning of the post, responded very emotionally and said that he would soon upload a video about Polar. That video would soon enough be uploaded a couple hours later, and Rick would essentially expose Polar for sending a death threat to him, and repeating what he said in his previous video. Polar, angered even further, decided to double down on his statement, and respond to Rick's recent video under the title, "I'm going to double down," where he would outright tell Rick to kill himself, as well as responding to comments on his previous community post. The video would then be taken down by YouTube once again, but this time for violating harassment and bullying policies. And that wasn't enough. Rick would also find out about the video 20 minutes later, stating in a community post that he was going to take a break to try and recover mentally. He was even worried that Brevo would leak his address online, potentially doxing him. The next day, however, everything would change. Rick finally revealed that he was behind the Polar account, marking the third time in a row we had been deceived. As suspected, everyone reacted very emotionally but angry at the same time, confused as to why he was doing all this to himself. He then go on to make a lengthy community post explaining himself. To cut the story short, it will mostly reiterate what he said in his Coming Clean video, where revealing that he was behind Psychromia 07. They will continue to post on the NFT Myth channel. The Blue Reporter account will close down on 28th of November. If you thought things would die down from here, you'd unfortunately be mistaken. Instead, people are now speculating that Rick is also behind the Guy account. And to pour gasoline on the fire, the Guy himself will start leaving comments saying, "I admit to being Rick," convincing others even further. To try and stop the turmoil, Rick will make another community post telling people not to forward their claims. Not even 5 minutes later, he started a live stream to debunk the claims once and for all. Sadly, it did not go as planned. It was essentially a repeat of his livestream when apologizing for event techno glitch. People were calling him names such as Rick Epstein. He tried multiple times to disprove the claims, but people wouldn't budge. And worst of all, he accidentally leaked his personal email and his full name, which I won't be saying for obvious reasons, by the way. To finally put the situation to rest, another guy will do a face reveal, meaning that Rick, for once, had been telling the truth all along. Another guy will then explain that he did this to get Rick karma for what he did. From this very moment, tensions are high, and it doesn't seem like the controversy will die down once more. Whatever happens next, we might endure. This was Stein Scholar. Till next time.